Hello, everyone. Spirit House here. I wanted to talk briefly today on the monetizing of nature out of greed and corruption, basically. Um, I'm going to give a couple of examples just to hopefully spark independent thought and critical thinking. There's been infrastructures built into our social media everywhere we look, propaganda in the media, in television, radio, everywhere, to kill our independent thought. They don't want people. The status quo does not want people. Our governments do not want people who think for themselves, who are capable of critical thinking or independent thought. This is made clear in, fake news, how willing and easily people accept fake news for truth and spread it around. I mean, they're just feeding into the hand, doing exactly what, these elite powers want them to do. Most of the wars that are created in this world and the divisions that are found in countries are planted there by governments and elite. They don't even have to do with the groups that are warring against each other. It's a thought, a statement, a word, or somebody planted into a movement that causes these divisions and that eventually spin out into wars. Okay? You need to be aware of that. But I digress. In nature, we have very many examples. God has given us everything that we need. God, source, however you like to address God as, and I respect all religions, as I said before in my previous videos, and I've know quite a bit about different world cultural religions, as well as the esoteric and other things. But we were given everything we need in nature to survive, to remain healthy. There are natural plants out there. There's a plant to help treat or cure every single ailment or affliction that we could come across. It exists in nature, or it existed. Maybe not everything now because we've had plants that have gone extinct, but pretty much we have everything we need to stay healthy within nature. And I don't know if a lot of people are aware of this, but Western medicine, all it does, it never looks for the root cause. All it does is treat symptoms, and this is because they want to develop drugs to treat symptoms because it's a multi-billion, trillion-dollar industry, pharmaceutical industry is. And I don't know if a lot of people are aware of this fact either, but every single drug out there, or most of them, are based on a plant. What they do is they take a very effective plant, medicinal plant or herb, and they create a synthetic version of it. Like, okay, so with SSRIs, depression drugs, are serotonin reuptake inhibitors. Okay, these are all, many of them are based on 5-HTP, which is 5-hydroxytryptophan. Okay, that's tryptophan is found in poultry. It's found in other natural plants. They take this compound and they make a synthetic version of it. They take a compound found in nature. You can buy the supplement anywhere at any health food store, and they duplicated it in a synthetic form. Now, the original form has very few side effects. I mean, of course, it might make you drowsy. You need to watch out for driving and this and that, which it says on the bottle of the supplement. But they take this, they make a synthetic version that can cause major side effects, and they monetize it because even though the natural version, the plant version, causes little to no side effects, it's in nature. Anybody can grow it. They can't monetize it. They can't be greedy about it. They can't control that. So they have to make a synthetic version and monetize it. And a lot of times these have horrible side effects, or they're not effective enough. So they have to, so this is a total opportunity that leaves the door wide open in order to create more drugs to make the original drug more effective. Instead of improving that drug, now they're going to prescribe 2 or 3 more drugs to fill in where the first drug didn't work out. Or the first drug, like say as far as Risperdal, Haldol, all that class of medicine, um, this one of the side effects is a horrible side effect that's incurable called tardive dyskinesia, TD. Okay, that's incurable. It causes horrible facial expressions, jerks, movements, involuntary movements. So then, okay, let's develop a drug. That's great. Let's develop a drug for tardive dyskinesia, and it goes on and on and on and on. I mean, it's a never-ending thing. So, but almost every single pharmaceutical drug out there is based upon a natural plant that does the same job with little to no side effects. This is what people need to know. Um, with vaccines, and I don't care if I don't care the backlash. I don't care if I'm banned. I don't care on YouTube. I'm going to speak my mind on this. I know extensively about this, okay, because I have 2 children that are vaccine injured that are now grown. Um, I know all about neuroimmune. I know about the methylation system in the body. I've been studied medicine in school. I have, spent thousands of hours studying this. Okay. Um, with vaccines, it's like, look at this. Okay, look at the pandemic we have here. Okay. And I'm not anti-vaccine. I think that certain vaccines like polio have been very helpful throughout history. But we need to be reasonable. We don't need to be giving children 48 vaccines before the age of 2. That's just disgusting. It's disgusting. And then using coercion on parents, saying that their children cannot attend public school unless they have all these vaccines by the age of 2, and then persecuting people that choose to keep their kids home and homeschool them, and calling CVS on them, and trying to demonize parents who choose to homeschool because they don't want their children, to have to get these vaccines. Our rights are being chipped away at, and everyone is just kind of in the sleep state. But I digress about that. What I'm talking about with the pandemic, though, is the flu, it doesn't matter what kind of virus it is, it's going to mutate. That's the nature of viruses. Okay? Every single virus will mutate and will have variants. Okay? With the flu vaccine, we guess. We guess which variant is going to be the prominent variant for the following year, and create a vaccine for it. That's a lot of times that's not the variant. A lot of times it's not effective. Not only that, but they each have 25 micrograms of mercury, thimerosal in them. Each flu vaccine has 25 micrograms. Sometimes they want you to get 2. That's 50 micrograms of ethyl mercury. So that's, if every year that builds up. That's what a lot of these diseases that we're calling by different names are nothing more than autoimmune conditions and diseases caused by vaccines. Rheumatoid arthritis. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Aside from all the obvious ones like Guillain-Barré, ALS, Lou Gehrig's, all of these are nothing more than vaccine injury. Okay, myasthenia gravis. It goes on and on. Okay, a lot of the autoimmune diseases are nothing more than vaccine injury. They just don't want to tell you that. And I believe that some people can tolerate them fine, but no medicine should be recommended for every single person on the planet. Okay, I have a number of drugs. I can't even take any antibiotics. I have formed an allergic reaction to every single antibiotic, and I actually have a condition that legit is a medical condition where I cannot have any more vaccines. I had myasthenia gravis. I cannot have vaccines. Should that be a reason I can't fly? I can't wear a mask and fly? This whole vaccine passport and thing is nothing but discrimination and shaming people, whether or not they have a legit medical condition where they cannot have a vaccine. It's a shaming and a discrimination of people. Okay? People need to realize this. But too many people have this mob mentality where they just, here again with the critical thought, the independent thinking, they just glom on to the mob mentality of wanting to just basically kill anybody that doesn't get a vaccine because they're exposing their. This is so ignorant. This is so ignorant. People need to realize this. Okay? I mean, you're nothing more than a drone, a bot, or a sheeple if you're going to jump onto that bandwagon of thinking. You need to do your research. And if you're not willing to do your research, then shut up, please. Because, or, just move out of the way. But back to the natural means, we have everything we need. Western medicine is the only school of medicine that does not care about the root cause of conditions, diseases, and treating the root cause of diseases. They treat the symptoms, okay? As far as nature, being monetized out of greed, going back to that, greed and corruption, look at our natural resources. Look at what's happened throughout history. We should not have to pay for water. We should not have to pay for electricity. In fact, Tesla he lost his backing because he wanted to found a way to provide free energy to people. And Westinghouse pulled the financial backing out from underneath him because of that, because he was not going to have any of that. He already had a plan with others, Morgan and others, to monetize electricity. And that was not going to happen. People were not going to be able to enjoy natural resources for free. It's the same. It goes the same with utilities, with water. These things should not be monetized. These are things that were given to us by our Creator, and they should not be monetized. Okay, so I'm putting a little bug in your ear. I went off further into the medical thing, and I can back up everything I say. I can back it up. You don't have to go very far to find out this information. There are medical literature, there's academic papers that I could fill a house with to the ceiling on the effects of vaccines on people, okay? On many, many people, especially women with mitochondrial disorders, okay? MTHFR, methyl tetrahydrofolate reductase, okay? Certain different genetic mutations that are contraindicated for vaccines, okay? So I'm just saying, I'm stating a fact. If I'm not against vaccines, but if you're going to vaccinate your child, especially, or yourself, you should do a little bit of research on your genetic makeup and on your health before you do this. Informed consent, ask questions. Ask to see the vial when you go to get a vaccine and see if it has thimerosal, because the media and everyone else is going to tell you, no, we don't do that. That's bullshit. It's I'm sorry, that's a fact, okay? So again, I'm not anti-vaccine, but I do think people need to be informed before they fill their children with 48 vaccines by the age of 2. I mean, that's unbelievable. I had maybe 6 as a child, and I did have a reaction to the smallpox, which wasn't even mandated at that time, but my parents felt that it was a good idea because I lived in a place where there was a large airport where a lot of international travel came, which is a reasonable thing to do. Back then nobody knew about things of this nature. But at any rate, I'm going to end the rant there. But just wanted to give you guys something to think about. It's good to question things, and that's something that nobody does anymore. People are so willing to believe whatever they hear without doing their own due diligence and looking into these things, and that's disturbing. That's disturbing because I see the I see, I see us regressing, and as a whole, humanity regressing, and I don't see us evolving. I see the general IQ of people just kind of disintegrating, and it's disturbing to me. So people really need to be more aware of what's going on, because what's happening is our rights are being chipped away at little by little, and everyone's kind of complacent and not even noticing it. Um, and they use pretty good tactics, but it's like, at what point do you not wake up and realize what is going on? And when it hits the food on your table, it's too late, as they say. That at that point it's too late, and that's the point we're getting at. So, you really need to, like, think for yourself and in a community mind, instead of thinking in a political government mind, because when the shit hits the fan, the government's not going to be there for you. FEMA's not going to be there for you. It's going to be you, your family, and your neighbors and your supporting community. So we need to show more love to our communities. And, that's exactly what they don't want to do. They don't want to see people organize, get together, form a plan of action. That's what the whole lockdown was about. That was like a little trial run to see how much they can isolate us from each other, and how much they can get us used to not reaching out to other people. And look at the suicide rates. Look at among children. Look at people losing their memories from the pandemic. So these are things we really need to question about. I'll talk more on that later. But I just wanted to share some thoughts, some food for thought there. And I hope everyone has a wonderful day. I love you all, and I will talk to you on the next video.